It was a bright, beautiful morning across the world. Life was as predictable as it had been for decades, cities alive with the hum of traffic, farmers tending their fields, and children laughing on their way to school. It felt like just another ordinary day in the grand rhythm of human life. But this fragile normalcy was about to be shattered. Far above the clouds, something stirred, a presence unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Satellites in orbit picked up unusual signals, a pattern that defied all known frequencies. Governments dismissed it at first, thinking it was some cosmic interference. But as the hours passed, the signals grew stronger, louder, and eerily organized. They weren't random, they were deliberate. In living rooms, coffee shops, and offices, breaking news began flashing on screens. Reports of a strange light in the sky poured in from every corner of the world. From the bustling streets of New York to the deserts of Saudi Arabia, people stopped and stared at the heavens. What they saw defied all logic, glowing orbs moving in synchrony, defying gravity, and pulsating with an unearthly energy. The skies, once so familiar, now felt alien. As the glowing objects came closer, fear began to spread. Social media exploded with videos and images, amateur footage showing bright disks maneuvering in impossible ways. Within hours, the global internet was in chaos, theories running wild. Were these secret military experiments? Meteorological phenomena? Or something far more sinister? Scientists across the globe scrambled to decode the signals. In underground labs and high-tech observatories, the brightest minds of humanity stared at the data. It wasn't random noise. It was a message. The realization sent chills down their spines. This was contact from an intelligence far superior to ours. The objects hovered over major cities, unmoving, as if studying us. People below panicked. Some fled to the countryside. Others barricaded themselves in their homes. A few stood bravely in the streets, holding signs welcoming the visitors. But no one knew what was coming next. The silence from these celestial visitors was more terrifying than words. As night fell, the lights began to shift. They aligned in patterns, forming symbols no human could recognize. It was then that the first sound emanated from them, a deep, vibrating hum that seemed to echo not in the air but in the very minds of everyone who heard it. The world held its breath. At exactly midnight, the objects descended. One by one, they came to rest in strategic locations across the planet. In Times Square, New York, the Eiffel Tower, Paris, the pyramids of Giza, and dozens of other iconic landmarks. From their surfaces emerged beings unlike anything humanity had imagined. The aliens were humanoid but taller, their translucent skin glowing faintly under the moonlight. Their eyes, large and unblinking, scanned the frightened crowds. They didn't speak, not with mouths at least. Instead, their voices echoed in the minds of everyone present. A single message repeated worldwide. We are the Arcturians. This planet has been observed for centuries. Humanity has reached the brink of destruction, and we will determine your fate. Prepare yourselves for a trial, a war for survival. The words were cold, calculated, and emotionless. There was no room for negotiation. It was not a declaration of peace, but one of dominance. Governments immediately declared martial law. Citizens flooded bomb shelters, and military forces began mobilizing. But in their hearts, people knew they were fighting an enemy they didn't understand, one far beyond their capabilities. In the face of this unimaginable threat, humanity did something it rarely managed to do. It came together. From the White House to the Kremlin, leaders set aside their differences, pooling resources to prepare for the coming battle. Military generals worked alongside scientists, engineers, and even hackers, trying to devise ways to counter the alien technology. The first line of defense was Earth's skies. Fighter jets were scrambled, and anti-aircraft systems armed. But could the technology of Earth even stand a chance against the Arcturian ships, which moved faster than the human eye could track? The reality was grim, but no one spoke the words everyone feared: extinction. Amid the chaos, A small team of scientists in Geneva made a breakthrough. They discovered a hidden pattern in the alien message, something that hinted at a possible weakness. But time was running out. The aliens had given humanity only 72 hours before their trial began. The final hours before the alien attack felt like an eternity. Streets that were once alive with activity were now eerily silent. Families huddled together, praying for a miracle. Soldiers stood ready, their eyes fixed on the skies. Religious leaders urged calm, some calling the aliens a test from God, while others feared they were a punishment for humanity's sins. Scientists worked tirelessly, their labs buzzing with last-minute experiments. The tension was palpable, a world on the brink of collapse. And then, as the clock struck midnight on the final day, the alien ships began to move. Their synchronized motion was both beautiful and terrifying. A sound, deep and resonant, filled the air. The war for Earth was about to begin.